Hi everyone, I am Mohammed AbdulSattar, a third year computer science engineering student from Chaitanya Bharati Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. I would like to give you an introduction to the ASP.NET-MVC framework. ASP.NET-MVC was released on 27 January 2009. It is a web application development framework based on the model view controller design pattern. It is a lot simpler than ASP.NET Web Forms. The MVC design pattern gives you a clean application design, neatly separating the business logic and the user interface. Let's have a look at the MVC design pattern. The MVC design pattern contains three components: a model, a view, and a controller. A model is generally what we call the back end of the application. It contains all the classes, the database interaction logic, validation logic, and so on. View, it is a user interface that is sent as response. It can be HTML, JSON, or redirect. It is just what is sent to the client. A controller acts like a mediator. It takes requests from the user and handles them and returns the corresponding view. It may use the model to return the view. So in MVC, a request is first handled by the controller, which returns the view. It may use the model to render the view, but remember, it's the controller that uses the model, not the view. So the view and the model are as separate as possible. The view is just sent as response. Here are a few advantages of ASP.NET MVC. The first one is SOC, separation of concerns. As you have just seen, the model and the view, that is the server-side logic and the rendered HTML, are as separate as they can be. You need not worry about breaking one when you change the other. And the next one is TDD, or test-driven development. It is better supported in MVC. You can easily write tests and run them to check if your application is working correctly. SEO, ASP.NET MVC by default provides clean URLs. We'll see how. JavaScript in ASP.NET Web Forms has troubled many developers. It is addressed in ASP.NET 4, but which is still in beta. ASP.NET MVC gives you full control over the HTML, thereby giving you better support for JavaScript. The rendered HTML is fully under your control. In ASP.NET MVC, a controller is a class that implements the iController interface, and the actions are the public methods in it. The actions return the views. The actions may interact with the model and return the views. So any request is interpreted in the controller and action in the controller, and a few extra parameters. When a request is first received, the URL routing module first performs the routing of that request. It resolves that into a HTTP context object that is sent as that is passed to the HTTP handler. HTTP handler is the MVC by default. It is the MVC handler. MVC handler uses the controller factory to identify the correct controller and invokes the correct action on it. The action returns the view, which is returned as response. The routing mechanism is specified in the global.asax file. It contains all the routes and adds it takes all the routes and adds them to the route table collection. The default route is controller slash action slash id. So http example.com user edit 4 resolves to user controller and edit action in it and an id 4. So the id 4 is passed to the edit action in the user controller, and that edit action is it's nothing but a method. It returns the corresponding view. Most usually it returns the edit view. So you no longer you need not write URLs like http example.com question mark page is equal to users and action is equal to edit and id is equal to 4. This routing in ASP.NET MVC gives clean URLs. Now let's have a look at test-driven development. Test-driven development is better supported in ASP.NET MVC. See, the model and the controller are separate from each other, so you can test each other independently. In TDD, first we write a test. We just write a test. We don't implement it, but we write a test. So it's naturally it's gonna fail. And we write, this is called red. Write a test that fails. And then write a code that is just enough to pass the test. This is called green. So we have just got the application running, and we improve our design so that we can easily build our application. This is called refactoring. So RGR, red green refactor, is the basic principle of test driven development. When we write a test, we focus on the requirements, and while refactoring we focus on the design. So it helps us make what design part of development process. This is the test driven development in ASP.NET MVC. So we have covered all the basic points of ASP.NET MVC. The first one was SOC, separation of concerns, and the next one was test driven development, SEO and clean URLs, JavaScript. You see, you can further go on for you can go on to http asp.net mvc, the official website of asp.net mvc, http hack.com, blog of Phil Hack, program manager for asp.net mvc. And you can read this book also, Professional ASP.NET MVC 1.0 by Rob Connery, Scott Hanselman, Phil Hack, Scott Guthrie. This is a Rocks publication. And for a free chapter from that book, you can go to http scottgu.com. This is what I wanted to say about ASP.NET MVC. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hope you have enjoyed it.